So, here we are in Ableton, and I haven't done any tutorials for ages, like a year or something stupid. So, I've got my mic set up, and it's been a bit annoying. I want it to just, I've got it kind of coming through with a gate on it and stuff. Right, anyway, today's little fun thing is something I was messing about with a while ago, and it's using the sampler function in Ableton and putting a random sample in. So in this example, it's going to be like a clap, basic 909 clap, and if I can remember rightly, we're going to put it into a sampler. So pop that in there. I've got to remember to keep this turned on, and now what we can do is go back to our sample, clap, select our sampler, drag that in there, and now it's MIDI triggerable. So there we go, pressing that. And what you want to do now is start playing around with the sample start, sample end, and we want to stick it onto loop mode. And if I can remember where that is, it's something like that. And now we can start playing around with loop start, loop end. You can start getting some funky sounds. And on the keyboard, these are playable in different keys. So you can actually get some quite cool stuff going on. You can start playing around with sort of filter envelopes, things like that. Although actually, did I do it like this? I might have done it in a drum rack. I think I did it in a drum rack actually. I think I had more options. You put it in there. Yeah, totally did it in drum rack. Sorry, ignore everything I did before. Did it in drum rack. So loop mode there. Change it so I'm actually playing the right. There we go. That will just, if you hold it down, it will just loop. So then same principle as before, except you can you got a lot more that you can automate. The only trouble is you can't play it in different pitches, but you could resample any of the sounds that you make out of here and obviously throw them into a proper sampler. Whereas you can sample, you can filter right in the drum rack. So you can make some quite interesting sort of effects going on. You can stick an LFO. mean, for example, you could assign that to a controller. Just down on my Ozone. You know, and you can obviously automate that. So if you were putting in, you know, notes or what have you. You could build like kind of a riser or something like that. Maybe do it over 4 bars. I mean, I've got loads of like, I'm sure everyone's got samples with like Vengeance and stuff. But sometimes it's fun to just make your own sounds, you know. You know, you could have that as a riser to a track. For example, stick a bit of delay on that. Could be cool. I'll drag just choose some more samples, see what we can make just the next like couple of minutes, and that'll probably be it. Because it's just, you know, the purpose of this is just show you can drag stuff into drum rack, use this kind of like loop function, and you know, make some interesting sounds out of very short sounds. So got like some sort of snares here. Same idea. Take that delay off. Loop it. I mean, that sounds like quite a nice sort of, almost like a sawtooth bass sound. For example, so we've got almost like a synth sound out of a snare, you know. So what we can do is put an audio track. Resample that in. Okay, so now we've got this audio sample. Turn it off. And obviously now you've got like your basic waveform that you've made out of a snare into a bass. I mean, I'm going off on a tangent here, but you know. I think that noise gate is just being shit. I might as well just fucking leave it on. It's more annoying having the noise coming backwards and forwards. I don't know how long this is going to go on for because I'm just like getting into doing stuff now. So, you know, you could start with a little bass thing like that. I'm just going a bit mad now. Put a bit deeply glitch on it. stop down. I mean, it doesn't. That sounds shit, obviously, but it's just an example of what you know. You could. This was a snare, you know, and you've made it into like a little bass thing. I guess you could stick like a kind of a reverby plate effect on that as well. Another thing that you could obviously do is go to your instruments, actually bring the sampling, and just literally drag that directly in. Now you can control it with MIDI. Mute that. Stick on the same like reverb. So now, oh, and the same compressor. So yeah, so you can now play that, and you can do more with the stuff on here as well, you know. Change the loop modes again, and you're like almost sort of the first thing we did with the loop to make the snare into the bass sound. Now we're kind of like doing that again. Yeah, you come up with some pretty weird shit. Reverse. Not sure what that make any difference on this sort of sample, but so now you've got a weird sort of, you know, snare synth. Which you could probably find a preset that sounds like that, but more fun to make yourself, right? And that's just, you know, from a snare. Or you could stick a all you've done is like a kick sample, and then this one snare has made like a little bass sound, and you can, you know, make a little lead out of the same snare. Just added like a delay maybe onto that as well. For example, just stick a little MIDI thing in. This has probably gone on for far too long now. How long have I been running this? Fucking hell, like 14 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to sign off in a sec. But, so yeah, I'm just going to make a little MIDI thing out of this. just like a little rhythmic pattern thing. By the way, these are expert samples, brilliant samples. If you like any of my tutorials or anything else that I do on YouTube or elsewhere, there'll be links somewhere to Loopmaster, I think, and you can get like the expert samples. If you go on it and you like it and you buy it, I get about like 8 quid commissions. So if you really want to help me out, I kind of want to get the new Diablo expansion that's been out for a while, and so you could help me out with that. That'd be cool. So yeah, stick a little loop in, and then I think we'll call that a day. And yeah, so that's how to come up with little ideas using the drum rack to loop samples. Obviously you can just experiment with all kinds of samples on this, you know, like orchestral samples, bits of piano, bits of guitar, synths, basses, whatever. Just drag them in and fuck around with the loops, the length and where you're actually like looping the points, and you could come up with some pretty interesting stuff, and resample it, you know. Put it into a sampler, put a compressor on it, sidechain it, bim bam boom, there you go. You got a track going. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of me boring talking, but got some little bits out of it. And I will catch you later. Cheers.